How impactful was this treaty? On this day in history, April 8, 1904, the United Kingdom and France signed the Entente Cordiale, resolving long-standing disputes and ending decades of antagonism between the two powers. For centuries, Britain and France had clashed over colonial territories across the globe, from Africa to the Americas to Asia. By the early 20th century, tensions remained high as both nations competed for influence and resources. However, the looming threat of German expansion and the imminent eruption of the Russo-Japanese War created an urgent need for cooperation. France and Britain feared that being dragged into the conflict on opposite sides could have been catastrophic for both empires. Théophile de Classes, France's foreign minister at the time, developed a policy that would lead to reconciliation. Paul Cambon, France's ambassador in London, and Lord Lansdowne, the British foreign secretary, were chiefly responsible for negotiating the agreement. King Edward VII's pro-French inclination also contributed to the agreement's success. However, the Entente Cordiale was not a formal military alliance. Instead, it was a series of diplomatic arrangements that resolved differences in Africa, the Americas, Asia, and the Pacific. Britain granted France freedom of action in Morocco, while France recognized British authority in Egypt. Britain also ceded the Los Islands off the coast of French Guinea to France. Although the agreement did not obligate either nation to military support, it paved the way for diplomatic cooperation against German pressures in the decade preceding World War I. The Entente Cordiale fundamentally reshaped European power dynamics, transforming former rivals into partners who would stand together in the Great War. Fast forward to the end of the 20th century, British Prime Minister John Major and French President Jacques Chirac announced the Entente Cordiale scholarship scheme to strengthen ties between the nation. Then, recently in April 2024, France's Garde Républicaine took part in the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace to commemorate the 120th anniversary of this historic agreement. If you've learned something, consider dropping a like and subscribing to my channel. Your support would mean the world to me.